Well, good morning and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson, and this kicks off our brand new five-part series called The Great American Rebuild. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of watching the very things that built this country crumble under the weight of lies, cowardice, and the agenda-driven corruption. If you're still here, you're still listening, still thinking, still praying, congratulations. You're part of the rebuild crew. So we begin with the foundation, trust. And let's be honest, America doesn't believe anymore. Not in her leaders, not in her institutions, not even in some cases, its neighbors. And frankly, can you blame folks? There used to be a time, and I know that a lot of young people uh, don't know this, and some of us older people don't remember, when Americans could disagree politically and still trust that we were all playing the same game. Team America. You know, a while ago, probably 10 years ago, I remember Glenn Beck saying that we have to stop thinking that they're evil, that they're just wrong. They're not evil. Well, as time's gone on, I think we found out something different. But something broke. When the CDC tells us one thing on Monday and the opposite on Friday, when schools say they're teaching diversity, multiculturalism, but they hide the test scores showing kids can't read, when the FBI raids pro-life homes, but has seemed to have taken a blind eye to the Epstein's client list. I mean, this woman went to jail for being a madam, and she's got the black book, and nobody has been arrested for having sex with underage children. Ghislaine Maxwell is the only person who's gone to jail. You have to wonder, don't you? Folks, that's not just a glitch in the system. That's the system. And trust, once broken, is very, very hard to get back. Ask a betrayed spouse or burned business partner. It takes years to earn it and only seconds to lose it. Oops. Alrighty. Again, so now welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and fightbackmediatv.com. We are so glad you're here. My name is Willie Lawson. Did you see the news on yesterday, on Sunday? Today is May 27th. Now, what we have to ask is, well, who broke it? Who broke it? It wasn't me, right? It's like the family circus. Who? Not me. It wasn't me, right? So let's name some names. There's the media? Well, they're complicit, for sure. How about big tech? YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok. Yes, all manipulators. Public education. They've turned into ideological indoctrination factories. How about your church? Unfortunately, in far too many cases, the church has been silent, or worse, woke. This month is so-called Pride Month. And when you see videos and you see pictures of churches led by uh, lesbians, transgender people that are from the UMC, it's little wonder why we are in the place that we're in. And folks, this wasn't accidental. This doesn't just happen in some accidental erosion and evolution. This was demolition with blueprints. And you went, well, why, Willie? Because a nation that trusts its values, its neighbors, and its faith is ungovernable by tyrants. There's nothing they can do. And those tyrants want compliance, not conviction, compliance. So they injected doubt into everything. They made fact checking a euphemism for censorship. Because when something gets fact checked, what do you think? Well, whatever the person said or they wrote wasn't true because they got fact checked. Maybe I could fact check. Doesn't mean that the fact check is correct. So it's a euphemism for censorship. They made you doubt your lying eyes. We say this all the time when we're talking about COVID. They made you not see what you were actually seeing. They do this with race relationships. They want you to see what they want you to not see what you're actually seeing. What we're actually seeing is that as far as black-white relationships, you see more interracial couples in 2025 than you ever saw in your life. And we're not just talking about people who are married or people who, fought the battle in the 60s to stay married. We're talking about middle-aged people, we're talking about young people, we're talking about kids. There are more interracial children walking the streets of this country than any time in its history. But what they want you to believe is that black people and white people are at each other's throats 24/7, 365. And that's not true. You don't see it where you live because it's not true. It's only happening online where people are there on X all day long, or they're on Facebook or Instagram or worse, TikTok all day long. And this is what they're ingesting. They want to inject this doubt into everything. They don't want you to believe what you're actually seeing. They told you the border was secure, while your town turned into the Greyhound terminal for illegal aliens. They didn't want you to believe what you were actually seeing. And folks, you can't rebuild trust until you know who broke it.
We gave politicians in this building an opportunity to do the right thing, to join with a supermajority of voters of our state in favor of voter ID and citizenship review. But these politicians voted it down. They don't care about the health of our democracy. When you hear them talking about defending our democracy, it is all California citizens will do the job that California politicians refuse to do. We will put voter ID on the ballot in 2026 using the Citizens Initiative process. Anyone who supports voter ID now has to get off the sidelines and into the fight. I urge you to join our campaign at voteridpetition.org. Voteridpetition.org.
All right, let's look at the price tag for this societal distrust. Folks, we don't trust elections. We don't. We'd like to be able to, but we don't trust them. And now half the country thinks their vote didn't matter. We don't trust schools, and parents are pulling their kids out by the thousands because we not because we just don't trust them. It isn't because we think that our kid has a bad teacher. We don't trust the system. One of the things the wife and I talk about all the time is that we are so glad that we don't have a child right now in public school. Man, when our kid, my kid was in school in the early 2010s, early 2000s, I should say. Things were a little iffy then, but now, whew, son, it would have been right back to private school. If we were eating peanut butter every summer, then so be it. Because we don't trust schools. We don't trust the police or the courts. And now criminals roam free while victims hide behind locked doors. In places where there's no financial bond, people commit crimes and they go through processing and they're back on the streets. Or worse, they get a ticket. They get a citation for robbing you, for taking crap out of your store, and they're out roaming around again, waiting to do the very same thing. While people who are law-abiding people are locked behind their doors. And the most dangerous part, people stop engaging. They disconnect. They retreat to YouTube. They retreat to X. They retreat to TikTok. Because why bother if everybody's lying? But here's the flip side. And this is why I'm doing this. That same mistrust can lead to awakening when enough people say, you know what, this doesn't make any damn sense. That would mean that we've hit a turning point. And I think we actually may be there. All right. Well, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. And here on my right or left, I'm never sure how this plays out, is a famous person. All right. So how do we rebuild this trust? Not with hashtags, not with slogans, but with consistency, honesty, and courage. From us, not them. Not worried about what they're going to do. That somehow Anderson Cooper is going to get it together and Don Lemon is going to get it together and Rachel Maddow is going to get it together. Hey, I didn't call her Rachel Madcow. I must be getting better. Not that they're going to get it together, because they're not. So it's got to be from us. Independent voices like this one, we got to show up every single day, whether we're shadow banned, throttled, or just ignored. Why? Because what I know is that somebody's listening. Parents need to go ahead and speak up at school board meetings, even when it's uncomfortable. Pastors, you listen to me, Pastor? You need to preach the gospel. Not the New York Times editorial page. The gospel. The truth. The good news. Journalists need to do their jobs. Stop being activists with bylines. Trust is rebuilt through truth. One solid brick at a time. Just like always, I want to leave you guys with a few real things that you can do. And not just with the political, social thing that's going on in the world, but even in our own personal lives. First thing, paramount, tell the truth. Even when it costs you. Especially then, really. That's the time that people will see, oh, you told the truth, and then you got damaged. Yes, because I told you that I would always tell you the truth. Support what's real. independent media, local churches, and institutions that haven't sold out. Call out the frauds. Stop, stop pretending that CNN or the Department of Education will one day get better. We talk about this all the time. They won't. Build something. Podcast, a parent group, a church, a business, a newsletter, anything rooted in the truth is a weapon against the lie. We rebuild America when we rebuild trust, not in bureaucrats or institutions. You notice how people are afraid now that trust is, I mean, that Trump is attacking the institutions. We need to rebuild trust in each other. All right, that's it for today. Tomorrow on the Great American Rebuild, we tackle the next pillar, the American family. Because, spoiler alert, it's not just in trouble, it's being deliberately targeted. So please make sure you subscribe, share this episode, and if you want to keep shows like this going strong, hit that support link, because if we don't build it, nobody else will. Have you noticed that? So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.